So it's Koyo.
Hi.
Hello.
Hi.
Maybe you can tell something about Image Forum,
Mm-hmm.
what it's nowadays.
Okay. So about Image Forum, Image Forum is a distributor, exhibitor, also a publisher for basically focused on experimental films. It started. Its roots is the filmmakers' co-op. Some of the filmmakers who used to make their personal films, they were looking for places to screen, and some of the group of filmmakers were doing like a screening activity, and it gradually grew into some sort of like a distribution organization, because some people, they would program films of their films together with other filmmakers' films, and gradually other filmmakers deposit their films, and they went into like bars or I don't know, like ping pong space, or like universities to do their screening activity, and then it named itself the Underground Center in 1971. And the first basic thing was the main thing was to have like a venue to screen experimental films or personal films or underground films, then we said. And then we had a famous playwright who in Japan called Shuji Terayama, who organized a theater in Shibuya in Tokyo, in the middle of Tokyo. And we sort of borrowed the place for when he's not using the theater. And we continue like series of programs, like we call the Image Forum Cinematheque. And then in 1977, we started a workshop to cultivate younger artists to make underground film or personal film. And then we called itself Image Forum Institute, and the Underground Center became Image Forum, and it's a non-profit organization. So about this tonight's program, I tried to pick up the kind of one of the golden time age of experimental film, and that's when was like late 70s, early 80s, because when exactly when the Image Forum started, lots of American underground films were imported and shown in like late 60s, and many of the young filmmakers, or like young people who were really kind of had a strong impact on them, and they started making lots of like kind of experimental films. So these are the people who started making their films in the 70s. And Matsumoto Toshio, the first film, Atman, he's more like, he started more earlier. He was more of a very experimental documentary maker, and he already made feature films, quite artistic feature films then. Atman is one of the kind of how to say, one of his not the best, but how do you say, one of his more representative film using animation technique. And because of the poor equipment we had, or the younger the filmmakers, we didn't have optical printers, so many people did try to make interesting moving imagery through using the technique of animation, mostly using photos. And then I think this kind of last how to say that, and I try to put this kind of answer to it in Spacey, because one of the best Japanese experimental film that has been made then was Spacey. So Atman is kind of inspired very strongly to Spacey, at the same time, Matsumoto was the teacher of Ito Takashi, who made Spacey. So you can see this kind of a process of developing in this 15 years, and you see a lot of practice using the animation technique.
Different animation.
Different, and yeah. My movie Melody is about the optical sound, and this film is not animation. This is kind of pure. I don't know how to say. I don't know the word for it, but the optical soundtrack is on the left side of the frame, but he kind of made a frame extend to the optical soundtrack. So actually, what you see, what you hear, the image, because of the image is producing the optical signal.
Like Liz Rose.
Liz Rose. But like more in a, he uses weird materials to create the sound, and you also see the oscillator. I think it's basically films on film, basically. So this is the filmmakers. Each film, the filmmakers try to explore the secret or the mechanism of the moving image, or the film medium, or movement. So this is the very common theme within the program. So
Really film on film.
Yeah, basically, what is cinema? I think these filmmakers, all of them here, trying to create a new kind of answer to what is film in these films.